Tonight, from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, it's a special prime time edition of the NFL on EA Sports. We'll see Michael Penix and the Atlanta Falcons taking on Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis with you, and now we sit, CD, at week 3 of the preseason, and this is the one that the coaches probably think is pretty valuable, right?
Certainly. This is the dress rehearsal. This is the one where your starters are going to play. You might even game plan a little bit more than you do with a normal preseason game, and then you've got to decide, do you bring them back after halftime and get them going again in the third quarter so they're ready to go when the regular season begins? I'm eager to see how these coaches will handle that.
And now it looks like he's in some discomfort after being tackled at the end of that return. Boy, you hate to see this before the regular season even begins. We'll take a break and come back. More preseason action in a moment. First carry for the Clemson man, Travis Etienne. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Right away, they rack up 10 yards on their first play from scrimmage. Plays like that will really help this offense settle in here on the road.
And when you go on the road, you also have to deal with the fans as well. And when you have those types of runs, that'll settle them back into their seats.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. And they'll go again with Etienne. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
Now Lawrence to throw on 2nd down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Reynolds. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And now that sets up 3rd and 2. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll run with Etienne. And he's got a first down as he's up to the 48. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, in a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
It's a big play for the Jaguars. 45 yards.
And this is one of the toughest parts about being a defensive back. When a play breaks down like this, you're taught to plaster to a receiver. Find the nearest one and adhere yourself.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Travis Etienne taking it in from 7 yards away. And the Jags put the night's first points on the board as they take the early lead. And that caps off what was really a balanced opening drive for them, Charles. They work in the rushing game and the aerial attack, and they end it with a touchdown.
Strong in so many ways, wasn't it, partner? Their ability to throw it and run it and accomplish their goal, they've got to like the way that they started this ball game.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the rookie from the University of Washington.
And it's almost without argument that the biggest surprise of the first round, I would dare say the draft, Michael Penix's selection by Atlanta at number 8 overall. A quarterback was in place in Kirk Cousins. But let's face it, the Falcons knew what they were talking about, because here's Penix as their QB1 this year, and they expect him to be for the future.
A run for the... And right away, he lost the football. And the Jags grab it. And he brings this one back. A fumble return for a Jacksonville score. Huge play by the defense, not only to force the fumble, obviously, but to return it for a touchdown.
And I know it's no fun for anyone who plays offense, but isn't it fun to see how a defense rallies when there's a fumble return and everyone tries to find someone to block and bring it all the way home?
I always like their celebrations because they don't get there that often.
No, they're not choreographed very well usually.
Extra point right down the middle, and that'll make the score 14-0. And you can bet they're preaching two hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And he'll wisely just take a knee here. This ball will come out to the 30-yard line. But Bijan Robinson and the Falcons back onto the field. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm.
And you have to be very careful about having too quick of a hook with really good players. I did a guy's game in high school where he fumbled 3 times in the first quarter, finished with over 300 yards on the night, later ended up in the NFL. If you've got a talented back, give it back to him.
The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. To the air, Penix, and that is incomplete.
Well, they've moved the ball okay here in these first 2 drives, but this one's going to, again, amount to nothing. They've got to start dialing up some plays that allow them to finish drives with points.
The punt team on now as Pinion sends this one away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10. So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the second time here in this game. They've got things going their way early. 14-0 lead and the football. First and 10. Lawrence. He's got a man, complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That one nearly 30 yards, 29 officially. From Falcon territory now, here's first and 10 at the 36. Straight ahead, Etienne. Fighting through the tackle at the 30. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
So here's a first and 10 now, down inside the 20. Lawrence will throw. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete. Here's second and 10. Now Lawrence. And that's complete to ETN out of the backfield. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. His kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So no problems at all on that one. And you know, there's virtually no wind. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no wind, it should be a passer's dream as well, right? But in this case, the defense held out. They had to force the field goal.
And the returner down to a knee, and this will come out to the 30-yard line. Atlanta regains possession of the football. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. Play fake, and they'll throw with Penix. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. They'll throw with Penix. And complete to Drake London. And they're able to get this one across the 35. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now Penix. Man open, that's Ray McLeod. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. 2nd down and a yard. And looking to throw, Penix. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by Foyesade Oluwakin. And the return across midfield and to the 46-yard line. Now Lawrence on 1st down. Flush to his right. Looking sideline, incomplete.
That incompletion certainly slows things down a little bit and brings up a very important call for 2nd and long. What do? Run and try and get some yardage and make it 3rd and manageable? Or challenge the coverage again, hoping for a bigger gain?
Looking for the out route here, and it's completed to Kirk. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. And they'll throw on 1st down with Lawrence. He'll get this off to ETN. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. And despite the completion, they're going to wind up losing 3 there. 2nd down. Here's Lawrence. Escaping the pressure right. Now he's going to let it go deep right sideline. Toward the back corner of the end zone, but he could not get the feet down. This will wind up incomplete.
And that's where you're counting on a receiver's size being an advantage. They were hoping he could go over the top of a smaller DB and haul that one in. A good thought, but that time it didn't work out.
Screenplay, here's ETN. And that's not nearly going to be enough. Stopped at the 22, and he needed plenty more. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that. And this one is right through. And that will extend their lead even further. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They forced the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
And no thought of bringing this one out. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll begin the drive at the 30. The Falcons back out, getting set for this next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it.
I
think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it. You mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
They'll come up facing 3rd and 5. Looking to throw Penix. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not many boos just yet from this home crowd, but they may be starting soon, as I'm starting to detect an uneasy murmur through this crowd. This offense, they've been lifeless in this first half. And now here's another punting situation and a 4th down.
1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
And I think they'd be well served to take that type of a physical approach against him the rest of the game. He's had his way so far, but on that last one, that worked quite well for the defense.
Dancing to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Lawrence on 3rd down. He's going to get that to his running back out of the backfield. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive continues. On 1st and 10, it's Lawrence. Flushed out right. A short throw to Ingram, and he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. He was out there waving his arms, and when you got a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
These offensive starters still out there in the second quarter. You would think the plans for them to at least play into the third quarter, if not all the way through it.
Yeah, it might go by feel. If they have a really good first drive to start the third quarter, they might pull them after that. If not, might leave them out there a little bit longer, but I'll guarantee this, they'll be gone by the start of the fourth quarter.
11 yards there for Jacksonville and a first down as well.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Lawrence going to throw again. And that is caught. What a grab at the 8. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a first and goal.
So we've reached halftime here with the visiting Jaguars out on top as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. Week 3 of the preseason is here. Everyone wrapping up their exhibition schedule. No games for the league on Labor Day weekend, and then it all begins. The 17-game regular season gets underway on the Thursday after Labor Day with the NFL kickoff game. In our game, expect to see the starters for at least one more drive, something to look forward to as we get you back out to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Our starters likely to be out there for the third quarter as we get back underway in this second half. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. So we get set to start this third quarter. Here's the Falcons offense now.
And you have to think, Charles, down 3 scores already. They need to play an almost perfect second half to have a solid chance.
And that absolutely starts with finding some way to put together a touchdown drive here. They need to be smart, fast, efficient, get the ball to the end zone, and do it again multiple times in order to have a chance to win this game.
Robinson, he'll try the left side. 90 yards rushing for him now. He's only carried the ball 4 times.
As we surmise, Charles, most of the starting units still out there for this third quarter. First time this preseason that they played into the second half.
And that's by design. Most of the time by this point of the preseason, you want them to go into the half, cool down, and then come back out and warm up to start the third quarter like you would a regular season game. That's exactly what they wanted to get done.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's a 2nd down and 4. Here's Penix. And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 43. Just his 2nd catch of the game so far. This one moves the chains.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
Jaguar pressure and a Jaguar sack.
Brought down by Trayvon Walker on the pass rush.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. Now play number 8 on this drive, and they need 9 yards to pick up the first on 3rd. He'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. They'll score that a 36-yard punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2.
Now ETN to start the drive.
And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down. From the 22, here's 2nd and 8.
Here's Lawrence to throw.
Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. That one good for 37 yards.
Another big play right there, and this is where, as an offense, you can really put the hammer down. You've got a double-digit lead, but those other guys, they've been hanging around. A touchdown here could put this game out of reach, and that's a strong step towards getting it done.
Throwing now, Lawrence on 1st down.
Eluding the pressure right.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
Well, no one likes to see that drop, but I'll guarantee it's not going to stop his quarterback from going back to him anytime he has open space.
Meanwhile, Lawrence's throw here taken in by Ingram.
And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. A 14-yard first down pickup for the Jaguars.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick touchdown.
Christian Kirk, 27 yards.
And the Jaguars will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Lawrence and the Jags offense staying out there. They'll go for 2 here.
They're going to try and run. And he will dive into the end zone, and the two-point conversion is successful.
I think this is just going to be a function of the times we live in now. Very similar to the bat flip in baseball. Everyone's got to start to get comfortable with this. But to me, this is just rubbing it in. You got a big lead. Go ahead and take the extra point. One thing to keep in mind, though, karma's still out there, and sometimes it has a way of catching up with you.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And he'll wisely just take a knee here. This ball will come out to the 30-yard line. The Falcons offense set to go. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. It's Devin Lloyd with a pick. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. He's a high draft pick, so maybe a bit of a mulligan, but you never want to throw a preseason interception, especially as a rookie.
No, but this is the time to do it, right? Let's get the kinks out. He's still got to learn how to read coverages, still has to learn the entire offense.
Oh, a leap, and he will make the catch. Touchdown, Jaguars. Evan Ingram, 30 yards.
And the Jaguars are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Well, familiar refrain, a turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this third quarter.
Yeah, partner, I'd say there are a lot of grins breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes this 35-0 now.
After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. And the returner down to a knee, and this will come out to the 30-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field.
And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Back to throw here. Sets up the screen to Robinson. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 10 yards there and a first down for the Falcons. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more preseason football on EA Sports. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now it's the backup Cousins.
Dumps this one off to Algier.
It'll go as a gain of 4, and that will bring up 2nd down. To throw, Cousins. His throw incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. Still going.
And finally taken down at the 4-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Now flags come flying in. One of the Falcons moved early.
Well, the offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
And they'll try again here, 1st and goal after the false start.
They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle.
And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
The yards may start getting a little tougher to come by down here near the goal line. That's good work defensively there on 1st down, holding them to a short gain.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Another pass attempt, another incompletion, and they're just a little over 100 yards passing here in this game, so defensively, pretty good job.
Definitely, because they were never really able to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, so a lot of credit to the defensive game plan and especially the execution.
And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds, right at the 3. A 4-yard pickup, not enough. 4th down.
Completed pass brings up a 4th down situation. Do you play analytics on this one? Well, what do your analytics tell you about going for it here? I wonder what they would say.
They tell me you're down by this margin, 4th quarter, you're going.
Koo knocks this one through the post.
And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
Still staying on his feet, are you serious? Still going inside the 30. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown.
When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back through the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Extra point splits the uprights, and this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw.
And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback.
Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now Cousins.
Setting up the screen, here's Algier.
And he'll go out near midfield at the 49. It's a gain of 11, and the Falcons pick up the first. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Now Cousins.
That's caught by Werner, the tight end.
Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back 1st downs.
From just across the midfield stripe, here's a 2nd and 8.
To throw is Cousins.
He's got this to Algier.
So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And now we've got a 3rd and 3.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
They'll throw again. Cousins. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. That's good for 9 yards as they convert on the 3rd down play. Cousins on 1st down.
That's complete to the tight end, Werner.
It'll go down as a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score.
Second down and 4.
Cousins to throw it. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. A 1st down throw for Cousins. He's got a man. It's his tight end. That's complete.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Cousins again. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete.
And the Falcons are going to be set up with a 1st and goal coming up as they get him down at the 6-yard line.